Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Journey to Perfection. This time on the panel we've got Blind IRL, Cleave TV, and Fog or Fog Twitch. I don't know, man. Hi guys.
Hello.
What's up, dude?
Hello.
So Cleave and Blind are well known, but Fog, maybe you can introduce yourself for a little bit.
I don't even know who I am.
Good.
Fog, the British innovator.
Oh, you're too kind. We're talking about the same person,
I
right?
think so.
My name's Fog, and I do some Planet Coaster stuff. I tweet, and I also do some Twitch. I really don't know what I do. Sometimes I make cool Planet Coaster stuff, I guess.
I agree with that.
And thanks for having me on, by the way, guys.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Before we start with the topics, we introduce ourselves. I'm AdvoTV. I'm the host of the show. You can find my stuff on Twitter and on Twitch and on YouTube, and yeah.
Hey, my name's Blind, and I stream a lot of management games on twitch.tv/blindIRL.
Hey guys, I'm Cleave TV, stream on Twitch, and mostly on Twitter, like all the time.
Like, all the time. Like
right now, I'm on Twitter. I just tweeted.
if there was a way to block all of your sports tweets, I would do it, but then I'd have to block all of your tweets. It's okay.
Sorry.
Can't you blacklist certain words? Like,
Yeah, but then we'd do it for everybody.
Yeah.
another thing before we dive into the topics is we need to correct ourselves. In the last episode, we talked about the intermittent impulse that was implemented in the summer update into the game, and what we said is that you basically can only build the station, straight tracks, and the pre-built towers, which isn't correct. You can do more with the coaster, so sorry about talking bullshit. And I think Fog has built a pretty nice coaster that I'm pretty sure we can show here.
It wasn't really kind of expressed that you could have like roll, could have pitching, all that kind of stuff, or even turning left or right. That kind of did give a couple moments thinking, is this going to be like your very, basic setup of a back and forth shuttle coaster? The coaster in the background is actually a project I have at the moment, which of a continuous impulse coaster. It's possible, thankfully.
Yeah, so that's about the correction. Frontier released an basically unannounced update.
I was gonna say, this was unannounced, right? I didn't just completely miss it.
No, you didn't. All of a sudden, it was just there, which comes along with some bug fixes, nothing too special. A couple of blueprints, which we are not really into. To be honest, I haven't looked them up. Have you guys?
I have not. I have the game open right now, though. I can check.
Some of the fixes that I think have kind of affected me for the better is less crashes and more stability.
That's kind of funny because the game for me runs perfectly. I mean, I had like maybe 3 to 4 crashes since full release.
Yeah, same. I've had very few crashes since release. I think the last one I had was right after the last big patch. But that was, I think, the issue that I was having was fixed the next day. I will say this, since the 1.3.3, is that the update?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Since the release of that, I have had reports from about 3 different people with varying setups that it's halved their frame rate on certain parks. No idea why. I've told them to all go to Frontier support. I don't know if any of them have, but just food for thought. But there were 3 specific people that were like, yo, game's broken now.
That sounds like potentially like driver problems, not game problems.
Yeah.
It's definitely possible, yeah.
Yeah. For me, the game's been stable like forever as well. I've had the crashes that I've had are memorable, of course, because it's like, oh, when did I save last? Oh god. So you remember them, but really, it's only happened like maybe 3 times in 6 months or something like that.
Adfo, are you still getting the when you exit the game like hex up and flickers for like a minute?
Yes.
Okay.
I get that as well on Windows 10.
That's like the biggest issue that I think the game has right now.
Yeah, it does eventually close. It doesn't crash, so it's fine. Yeah,
It's just kind of weird.
I think it starts happening when Windows rolled out the game mode.
That's exactly when it started happening for me. Yep.
It's kind of funny because I never used the game mode, but still, when they rolled it out, it started happening. But it's not a real issue. The thing why we are talking about the 1.3.3 update is it came along with a new flat ride and a new coaster. The flat ride is, oh my god, now I tried to pronounce it for like 30 minutes before we started the show.
The Coriolis?
The Coriolis, exactly.
I'm convinced that is like some sort of disease that you get in your groin area. So
I've split it up how I think it's said, the Coriolis. God, I still can't.
Yeah, the Coriolis. Nailed it. First try.
still sounds like an STI to me.
Yeah.
It's one of those which you'll probably want to rename for your sanity when you do put it in your park.
Exactly. So what you guys think about the ride? I mean, besides the name.
It's very basic and low to the ground, and I'm not super impressed, but it's more content for the game. So.
I personally think it's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it's not gonna be like a blow your socks off kind of exciting ride. To me, it's just like a little kiddie ride, and I've got no real issue with that.
Yeah, it sort of looks like a transition from like a kid's ride to like a sort of adult's ride. It's like your kid's first thrill ride kind of thing.
I mean, there's lots of rides like that in existence. Like there's one that's usually at Playland that I can think of off the top of my head, which is kind of like hot air balloons, sort of, which does a very similar thing. In fact, I think it might actually be the same ride, but just kind of with different theming, which is fine, you know. And also, like, there are a lot of thrill rides in the game already. Like, the number of pendulum rides that we have now in Planet Coaster is getting a little insane.
Yeah.
So honestly, I think it's fine. We don't have enough, like, you know, whirly rig equivalent.
The theming, like the built-in theming on this ride, reminds me very much of like some Midway style type of ride.
It kind of said carnival to me.
Yeah, carnival Midway type of thing.
Yeah, it did get me thinking of Blinds Project at the moment, the carnival park that you're making.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that if Bear was here, he would be whining about that. I can see that too. I think that too many of the rides in Planet Coaster don't look permanent, but at the same time, if that's the aesthetic they're going for, that's the aesthetic they're going for, and I'm fine with that. And
I do kind of like, bar the tornado theming on the actual ride, it's actually I feel it's kind of a nice clean slate as far as a ride. So that gives opportunities for people to theme it as they wish.
I don't know if it's only me or if it's you as well, but when I look at the picture of it and what I do now, I see a lot of smaller panels with pictures of a tornado, and I really wished we could change the pictures.
But those would be animated. They would be moving around in the environment.
Yeah, but does that matter? I mean, really?
Does it?
It's just changing the texture.
I guess. I don't know. I think that would then set a precedent, because if they did that, then everybody would be like, well, why can't I change the little panels on the big swing?
Why can't you? Good question.
Well, because it wasn't in the game at the time that the ride came out.
I know.
So they'd have to like retroactively update all of the rides to make that fair.
It would be a case of kind of doing legacy content and additional work on older content to bring it up to speed, kind of thing, or up to standard.
The thing is, the in real life painted panels on the ride just, to me, look like the TVs we got already in game.
Can I just be honest with you? So. Even the dark TVs have this weird, ugly, like whitish tinge to them.
No, I don't know whether that's a case of the color correction in game.
I think it's the latter, actually. I think they've sort of tried to design it around it being a TV with like a glow, with like its own inherent like sort of glow to it.
To be honest, I don't want to really talk too much about the billboards and TVs and stuff in this episode, because I'm trying to
keep this train on the rails.
So we shouldn't talk about the 3D gizmo fix either, then, I guess.
Not this time.
All right, I just had to mention it though. I love you, Bear.
we need to talk about the new coaster that was released in the free update as well.
I've been complaining that we haven't had one of these since the game launched.
Yeah, true. You did.
And I'm happy.
I need to be first. I think the car looks awesome.
It's like you hit a fat mouse with a giant hammer, and that makes me really happy.
It's like it looks like he's about to drive into a brick wall, and he's just like, ah!
he's like clenching.
It's kind of a
Yeah.
got the kind of look. It was at this moment kind of thing.
I have two issues with it, to be honest. First of all, it's rotating and not a standard
that makes me
crazy
sad.
mouse. Which is kind of okay if they released a non-rotating version as well, but maybe that's something for the future.
It would also be fine if they gave us the option to just lock it, like on the station.
There is an option to lock it.
Yeah.
You just don't build the rotating piece, but you still have the wrong car.
Okay.
The second issue is, I think the friction, and yes, that's a topic we are talking about quite often. The friction is way too high. If you look at a real Crazy Mouse coaster, the incline isn't that, at least on the first part, is very slightly, and you build up a lot of speed in real life, but in the game it's like crawling down the track.
With this coaster, just to kind of go on the back of that the friction argument, they do have non-inverting custom pieces, so 180 degree turn left, 180 degree turn right. Now, I almost feel like they might have missed a trick here because of the friction being a little bit more persuasive than real life. Let's say they could have potentially made a version of this 180 degree turn right and left, where it also goes down in height ever so slightly. So you could have your straight track pieces, and then you could throw it through one of these 180 degree turns, and it will actually go down for you. You could continue to keep speed rather than doing your own custom turns and your own custom height transitions. That's just something that I kind of feel I could pick up on, just as a critique of the ride, to be honest.
You're not wrong, but I think making those pieces are actually really easy.
And make a custom one?
For people that are less familiar with using the coaster editor, they definitely probably click on those pre-built pieces and build coasters out of them specifically, so you're not wrong.
And I feel they did miss a trick because they did such a nice job on these custom supports for the hairpin turns. It seems unfortunate to not be able to use them if you are looking to make your own custom ones like that.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I'm checking it out right now in the game, actually. They are cool. The supports. I like it.
And the third issue I have, at least looking at the picture they released on the forum, is it doesn't look really safe with the small restraints.
The screenshot I saw, I was like, I would fall out of that thing.
Have you been on one of those?
Yeah.
Okay, because
Yeah,
so have I, and those restraints are tiny. Like, you legitimately feel like you're going to die. At least, the one that we used to have at Playland, which, by the way, isn't there anymore because it flew off the track and broke someone's legs.
Safe, yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Just, I had to put that in for context. Nobody died, like, nothing fatal, but someone broke a leg. That thing, you had, like, a lap bar, and, like, you could slide out the side.
Okay, because the version I know is that you have small, tiny lap bars, but they cover the whole seating area, basically.
It's like a whole bar kind of thing, yeah?
Yeah.
The one that they just added in Planet Coaster, they have, like, that huge, like, it's like a pimp couch, almost. It, like, surrounds them completely. So, like, even though they only have, like, those tiny little lap bars, does it really matter because the whole thing like is going all the way around the side? Like if you go straight to the right, you're not gonna like slide out, you're just gonna hit the side of the car or your friend. So I don't know, I think it's fine.
There's also the whole it's a video game aspect as well. We should probably keep that in mind.
It's a video game with unrealistic character
I
models.
was just going to say, maybe that's why the mouse is so scared he doesn't want to get sued.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we are done with the update, guys.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
Instead of releasing 3 packs, it should have been 1 pack that cost $8.
I agree.
Okay, wait.
Everything else is cool.
My order.
Oh, Adfo had a thing he was gonna do.
Yeah, I'm so triggered right now.
Okay, well, pretend I didn't say that.
So, they released on the same day with the free update. They released paid DLC 3. Paid DLC, which are 3 mini packs. They are licensed mini packs out of Back to the Future is one of them. Knight Rider is the second one, and the Monsters.
These are universal properties, right?
Yep.
Exactly.
Can I ask a quick question? Because I actually have no experience with the DLCs, and I think at least one of you guys do. So let me ask you a question.
all do.
So they came with a couple blueprints, and then they came with pieces that they used to construct the blueprints as well, and they also came with custom cars for the go-karts. Was there any other aspect of the DLCs as well?
They came with blueprints.
That was a
sorry?
question.
Okay, so let me just run down with what each one comes with, okay? The Back to the Future one comes with a separate model for each DeLorean. It comes with all of the pieces to build the DeLorean. It has a giant Back to the Future sign and some effects. Okay?
Wait, does it also come with the DeLorean car model for the go-karts, or did I make that up?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
The Knight Rider one is more or less the same. You've got two like one-piece pre-built Knight Rider cars. You have several effects, including possibly the best explosion that exists in the game, which is incredible, which would be awesome for fireworks displays.
Hopefully Adfo's editing in a image of that right now.
I'm trying.
He edits live
Yeah,
really quickly. And then all the pieces to build the Knight Rider car. I actually think the Knight Rider one is the worst bang for your buck because it comes with the least pieces. Also, they all come with the go-kart skin. So that's the thing. The Monsters one comes with 2 cars, a bat confetti cannon, which is incredible. They all have a few effects, and I think that bat confetti cannon is by far the best thing that exists out of any of these DLCs. It's just awesome.
And Green Fog.
And Green Fog, yeah, that as well. Anyways, as I was saying, the Monsters one comes with the 2 cars, as well as all the pieces to build the 2 cars, modularly.
So which one comes with the glass piece that they said we were never going to get?
That is the Knight Rider one. Essentially, the one that people have been using as of late for window effects is the Knight Rider roof. So it's like the sunroof on the...
Oh, the sunroof from the car?
Yeah,
oh,
on the Kit Bash version. People have been doing kind of crazy things with pipe organs, with the Monsters. I think they're bell tubes that come out the side of the engine. Got a whole bunch of new lanterns and chairs, and I just want to say the attention to detail overall on these sets are really good.
The actual, quality, just sitting inside of the DeLorean is actually kind of weird. It's just wow, it's all here.
Yeah. The fact that they did use the actual intellectual property and were, because of that, able to do so much detail and so much kind of to the point, even the dates on the inside of the DeLorean are as they were in the movie. The license plates is out of time on the DeLorean. That kind of level of detail I don't know whether they would have got away with if it wasn't the actual intellectual property.
To me, that's unsurprising, because Frontier has always been fantastic at doing a really good job at detailing the things that they make.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's one of the greatest strengths of the game, is everything is just to the nth degree.
We got a bunch of really pretty pieces.
Exactly, we got a bunch of really pretty pieces, which are incredibly detailed, like always. Nothing surprising yet.
Is there a total piece count on all 3 DLCs combined that anyone knows off the top of their head?
So the Back to the Future one has 25 pieces, disregarding the go-karts, if you're going to count that. Knight Rider has about 39 pieces, and the Monsters, I think, has the most with 48. They're kind of the rough numbers, just looking at all of the rows that you can get. One thing to note is in audio, in the triggable speakers, I'm unsure whether this was part of the DLC or as of just the update. There are Knight Rider car sound effects, the kit car lines. That's kind of a nice touch, to be honest, but it's not actually in plan code.
That makes sense though, because they're trying to be authentic to the license. So it's
Definitely,
probably part of their deal with the licenses that they have to be authentic. I gotta say, I agree with Blind. It should have been 1 pack for a little bit more. I understand why they want to give you the choice, but I don't know, personal opinion.
I know that Canada money is worth pennies and Planet Coaster is $60 in Canada. But if I was not given keys, I wouldn't have bought it. I would have bought it eventually, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't have bought it day one. I think my issue is, I think that the coolest things that you get out of these packs, as I said earlier, are the haunted house pieces. It's $12 for a selection of items, which is fine. The actual price that we're paying per piece, as was mentioned earlier, is actually really high.
Yeah.
And it really makes me think, well, what are they going to charge in the future? Are these ones just specifically expensive because it's licensed?
It certainly has some adds to it. Yeah.
It concerns me because, we had an update earlier this year which had 150 pieces
for free.
How much would an update like that cost? That's what I want. That's what I want to know.
Good question.
I know I've seen at least a few people commenting on the forums saying, "Oh, why don't you just release a season pass?" Which is kind of still what I'm leaning towards. I would like to see that. Hopefully these are just like a little small bonus thing. But overall, I genuinely think because they are all from the same owner, these properties are all from the same owner, I would have really liked to see these as a universal film pack.
Yeah.
And the reason I say this isn't for people who already play the game. The reason I say this is for new people looking at the game. Because when new players come to a game, or when they look at a game on Steam, one of the first things they look at is DLC. For your average player, I look at these and I go, how necessary are they to the average player? The conversation of workshop stuff's going to come up later, I think, but how necessary are they to the average player, and is it potentially going to hinder new people from buying the game?
Kind of go off the back of that, just an alternative kind of example of that. I would want to try and use like a Euro Truck Simulator or something like Train Simulator. These simulator games where you kind of have additional content if you wish to kind of purchase that, where you can just buy paint jobs, pretty much, or flags and such. Now, whether those are integral to your furthered enjoyment of the game, that's up to you. That's up to you and your wallet, really. The question is, that's not totally kind of game-changing in the case of Euro Truck, but in this game, I would actually consider borderline simulation. You're actually having these pieces which are part of that. And that's the question that we need to answer and kind of ask, whether it's going to be, if this content is a little bit more...
What annoys me is that they split it into three. These are much more crucial than, your $1.99 paint jobs.
Can I say that at least I'm happy that DLCs finally came out.
Yeah.
Can we at least just mention the fact that we finally got some new content for the game? We've been talking about this for a while. I want them to open the floodgates and just keep pumping out more stuff.
I would still like to see a season pass, though.
You know what? A season pass makes so much sense in terms of like the concept of the game itself. Like, you buy a season pass to a theme park, you buy a season pass to a theme park game. Like, they can do so much co-branding there. It would be so cool.
I would pay $35, $40 for a season pass that just guarantees I get everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean everything. Like, let's just say bigger packs for $10, smaller packs for $3. But I want a pass where I know that I can get everything, and maybe at the end of the year I'll get $5 off.
I totally agree with you. I would love to see a season pass. And I really think a season pass will come, but for the bigger updates later this year, going on next year. And I kind of think it maybe is an issue with the Universal deal they have going right now.
Yeah, we have no idea, and these are things that Frontier probably will never tell us, so we have to speculate.
The inner workings behind the curtain kind of thing.
For me, the issue is not the price point, but what you get for the price, because basically you get some pretty good modeled stuff, but it's basically 2 to 3 cars each, and a bunch of pieces.
Yeah.
It's not really that useful. Most of the pieces, we know there are some pieces there that are quite useful, but I mean, the DeLorean, you can plop down a DeLorean, and same goes for Kid and the Monsters cars, but that's about it.
Yeah, and instant gratification.
Right.
I would almost say this content feels like it's marketed towards both the people who play ridiculous amount of this game, as well as the people who can relate to these brands and relate to the monsters, Back to the Future and Knight Rider. But the level of enjoyment might actually be, or the level of enjoyment and kind of theoretical value might actually be a little bit more to the people who are putting a whole bunch of time into the game. Now that revolves around just looking at all of these individual pieces that we have here and thinking, what can we do with this car from Knight Rider? What can we do with these objects from the monsters? And trying to repurpose those in a creative way. And I think those kind of people who will turn around and try and use them for creative purposes outside of the cars and the blueprints that are ready,
Definitely.
I would say might feel that this is a little bit more value for money than the people who look and say, I'm going to place the DeLorean down next to my track. Okay, cool.
I think that's sort of their dream, is to figure out how to make packs that appeal to both audiences.
Yes.
And I think this is okay. And in that sense, I do understand why they're separated too, because you may want that DeLorean car, but you may not care about Knight Rider. So getting a DeLorean car may be worth $3 to you, but getting a DeLorean car may not be worth $12 to you. So for that reason, I understand why they're separated.
There could be both options.
Sure, yeah, get a pack, and that may happen eventually. Like, there's no reason why they can't release a bundle at some point in the future.
So the next big point I want you to talk about is what does the DLC mean for the workshop? Because basically how it works right now is you can download every workshop item out there, but you can plop down a blueprint that contains DLC stuff that you don't have. So basically, just imagine I built a haunted house, but use only the top of the Knight Rider car as windows, and you don't own the DLC and you can't use it just because of one piece.
I'd like them to do the model that The Sims does, where if you download something that someone made with DLC, it just deletes the item, but you can still place it.
I kind of wish they did that as well.
Like if you build a house and it's got DLC stuff, yeah, I like that.
Does anyone kind of know the situation when you do place a piece which you don't have the DLC for?
You can't place it.
I imagine it's just highlighted in red and it gives you an error. Like,
okay. Just as a reaction to this, I reckon the creators would turn around and might start making two versions.
Oh, fuck. Nope.
I know. One with the DLC content included, and then maybe another one with a substitute piece.
That's above and beyond the expectation of like a person who creates content for a game for free to do that for people. I mean, if someone's super dedicated to becoming known for being a content creator for a game, they might, but the average player, there's no way they're going to do that.
I agree with Cleve. They should do the it just deletes the piece. But I think what actually is going to happen is there's going to be like a spotlight on, or more people saying things like, oh, this blueprint includes no DLC.
Sure, yeah.
Like, I think that's going to become a tag.
Yeah.
That's going to become like something people brag about in what they make. Like, yo, I made this blueprint and it uses no DLC.
Yeah.
Oh, it has to be.
I'm looking at this document and I'm seeing the notes from Sam. This, if he listens to this, which he won't, you're dumb. You're fine. It's not Rip Planet Coaster. Calm down. There's going to be some frustrating moments, but it's not Rip Planet Coaster.
Yeah, I don't think the sky is falling here. But
No, I agree. It's not Rip Planet Coaster, but I totally see his point that he made before that. Basically what he wrote is, quote, oh, hey, this blueprint looks really cool. Oh, wait, they used one chair from DLC. Guess I can't look at it.
Or, it's going to drive sales for DLC, which is something that I'm sure Frontier is anticipating.
Yeah, definitely, but to be honest, it's kind of like forcing people to buy the DLC if they want to use it.
A little bit, yeah.
Yes and no. I mean, you could also just unsubscribe from the blueprint and go download something else.
Sure,
yeah. I mean,
there's over 100,000 things in the workshop already.
As time passes, and of course this won't be the last DLC that they make, it's going to become more and more fragmented over time, though. Like, it's easy to look at that and say that now, but in 6 months, if they release 3 more DLCs, it's only gonna the problem's only gonna multiply, really.
I think that 6 months down the line, as I said before, the only uses vanilla pieces thing is gonna be something people brag about on the workshop.
I mean, it has to become some sort of mechanic in the game or in Steam when you're looking at the workshop to let you know, oh, this requires DLC. It would. I don't know if it does yet or not, but it should.
There is a tag for it.
Okay, yeah, it has to. Yeah, okay.
So just going kind of back to the idea of people looking at the objects and thinking, oh right, I can't use this because I don't have this DLC. Frontier need to play it really kind of carefully, in my personal opinion, as far as making people not feel like they're paying through the nose to get further enjoyment, and
Absolutely.
maybe download some of their favorite creators or some of the cooler things that they see on the workshop and get hold of those blueprints.
Next thing I want to talk about is, do you guys think there will be more licensed DLC in the future?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah.
What kind of?
Midway. Seriously, I want like all of the Midway arcade games. Like, damn it. And the reason I say that is because Lego Dimensions has it. And I
think Blind wants Midway. Just a hunch.
I really like Midway. Old Midway stuff. I want to make a crazy taxi ride, dude.
Oh, okay. Right. I want Midway too.
So one thing that we have to consider that we don't know the answer to is exclusivity with Universal. So we don't know.
Yeah. Whether that's going to cause problems with kind of other companies.
It may be time locked. Okay, we can only do Universal for a year, and then next year we can do, it opens them up, but we don't know.
Exactly.
Something to think about.
Batmobile, that's going to be a good one as well. So like a Batman IP.
Oh, yep.
I've been kind of held hostage to say Jurassic Park, like the Jurassic Park Jeep.
Well, even if there is an exclusive deal with Universal, there are so many Universal IPs. Exactly. I mean,
Harry Potter, for example. I heard Harry Potter was a pretty big one.
I was just thinking about Harry Potter because, I mean, we have a fantasy theme and it would add so nicely.
Doesn't Universal also have DC Comics? Did I make that up? Or Marvel? They have Marvel, not DC, right?
If I remember correctly, Warner Brothers has DC, isn't it?
Yeah, because there's Superman and Batman rides and stuff at Great Adventures. At Six Flags Parks.
This is just me being a geek here, but I would really like to see them poke id or Bethesda and get some Doom stuff in there.
I would be interesting.
Well, I mean, it would certainly be interesting to see other video game crossover properties, things that you don't even see in real theme parks. Yeah, that would definitely work.
To be honest, I think a good reason why not using game IPs to put into your game is that gaming is still sort of limited. I mean, everybody knows Marvel, and it's way wider spread known IP than, let's say,
right.
Doom or anything game related.
I think Doom might actually be one of the few that's like up there, but Doom's like a cultural icon.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not sure about that. I mean, as a gamer, yes, sure, but as a person that is,
my mom knows what Doom is. My mom doesn't play game.
Yeah, your mom, but your mom got a kid that is a gamer,
right?
So she had some knowledge of that, maybe. Yeah.
There's also the thought of one thing to consider. Also, is the cost of acquiring these licenses. Like, let's say they could get the Doom license for X dollars, or they could also just make content that's similar to what they could make with the Doom license, but just not have it be the Doom license. Like, they could make like Mars themed stuff and space themed stuff, and not have it cost them, basically.
Well, if we're gonna do space themed stuff, just pay Disney a lot of money and let's get Star Wars in here. I mean, come on.
Things with pop culture references, really. Yeah, Jaws.
Yeah, good one. Be an interesting one is Top Gun themed poster.
Top Gun would
pretty
be
awesome.
amazing.
Terminator.
Yes.
Properties like that.
Ghostbusters.
Anyway, we are just throwing out some IPs here, and I think it doesn't really make sense to go on with that forever. So basically, let's wrap it up. We have what the fuck, Ziri?
Siri has some suggestions of IPs.
What does she think about licenses?
You have to leave that in.
We have keys to give away. Basically, one key for each DLC.
Ooh, how are we doing that? Twitter?
Send me $5 on PayPal.
Exactly. Send me $5 on PayPal and you get a DLC worth.
You get a $3 DLC. Nice.
Yeah. No, here's the deal. There will be an announcement tweet on our Schematics team Twitter account for this episode. And all you gotta do to take part in the giveaway is to reply to that tweet with the DLC you wanna win and retweet the announcement tweet. Easy as that.
So wait, are we choosing randomly from the tweets, or are we choosing our favorite response for DLC to get the key?
Just random. Yeah, we put them all into a bag, each for each DLC, and pick.
Literally a bag. Adfo's gonna write all of your names down on paper and then put them in a hat and pick one
Oh,
up.
fuck my life.
And he's going to videotape it.
And he's gonna videotape it and post the video on his Reddit.
On his subreddit. He has a subreddit.
Yeah, our Adfo TV. You heard the man.
All right.
Get out there and get some free DLC, guys.
Yeah.
Exactly. And to wrap it up, once again, I'm @4TV. You can find my stuff on YouTube, Twitter, and sometimes on Twitch. And
Reddit.
I hate you so much. And next one is Blind.
I just wanted to say, while you're tweeting at Schematics team, just follow Schematics team, because that'll just make everybody's life easier, and it inflates our online cock. Anyways, moving on. My name's Blind, and I stream management games on twitch.tv/blindIRL, and I don't know how to make that more clear. Also, I do videos at Green Man Gaming sometimes.
I'm Cleve TV. I have a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Cleve TV, or @Cleve TV on Twitter. And I play all sorts of games, like Planet Coaster.
I need a beer.
What's up, Fog?
And just to finish up, thank you very much for having me, guys. It's been a pleasure to get involved with this, and it's, as expected, it was always good fun. I don't really know what I do at the moment. At the moment, I'm trying to get back into streaming at fog_twitch. I tweet under fog_twitch as well on Twitter. Doesn't make sense, does it? But yeah, I make some cool things in Planet Coaster, so maybe have a look at my workshop, see if anything's of use to you, and have fun, keep building, and get inspired.
Keep submitting to the Schematics team workshop spotlight.
And as you know, I'm pretty bad at signing off, so I'm just say that. Thanks for watching/listening again, and bye.
Y'all are beautiful.
Bye, guys.
Awesome.